Welcome to another edition of Sundays with Steve and Mike. This is my promise to tell the story of Longboat Key from the folks that live here, play here, and work here. My name is Mike Rennick. I'm the team lead, the senior broker with Team Rennick Real Estate Services, part of that great Keller Williams on the Water family. My partner in crime every Sunday morning is Mr. Stephen Reed, the owner, publisher of the Longboat Key News and the Sarasota City News. Welcome, Steve.
Buenos dias.
Today's a little bit different. We like to tell a story of what's happening here, but this is a little bit more newsworthy in terms of something that's happening that's not really a good thing, but we wanted to share. So Steve, where are we today?
Well, we're first in the big picture on the very south end of Longboat Key at 444 Gulf of Mexico Drive in front of a really lovely waterfront office building. But we got to start off. I got to say, you said this is the story of Longboat Key for people who live, work, and play here. The irony is the danger is for sometimes people who invest here.
Okay.
And specifically here, this is the second time in 10 years that this location has been center of a multi-million dollar scheme, a Ponzi scheme. The first one in 2009 was Stanford Investment Group. Alan Stanford had a $7 billion scam, one of the largest in US history.
Wow.
Chuck Vollmer ran this office, and he had $80 million worth of investments that were lost. And they had very similar to what we're going to talk about today. There was a bank in Aruba where this money was invested, and they provided returns, and people got banknotes. And like your typical Ponzi scheme, investment levels that were above the market rate were offered and received by the investors for a while until it all comes crumbling down. And now Chuck Vollmer said, and he was not involved and had no knowledge of that, so I don't want to implicate Chuck. He's a local guy, but a lot of people lost a lot of money and very upset about it. Now this is a different group.
Let's talk about the name of the company. This company is Oasis International.
Oasis International Group, correct.
Now, what I like about it is I actually am looking at a copy of their homepage on the web, and it says Cayman Islands Company.
Yeah, for a lot of people, that's enough already
I find that
to run.
interesting.
That's correct. They had a holding company in the Cayman Islands, and it was headed by Michael D. DeCorta. And this holding company, through it, their pitch was basically, give us about 10 grand of your retirement savings, okay? And for that $10,000, you can have in on an amazing financial opportunity. We will guarantee a minimum of a 12% return, not too high, not too low, but it's gonna be more than you're getting in your IRA account,
Oh my gosh,
right?
12% is amazing. Let me just take a minute. Let me read the company overview as they published it. Oasis International Group Ltd. provides managed and self-directed foreign exchange services. The company engages in various aspects of foreign exchange market activities on behalf of individuals and financial institutions worldwide. The company offers managed money markets for non-U.S. individual and provides market-making services for qualified individuals or financial institutions that manage proprietary or customer funds. Well, I'm not sure I know what all that means together, but it kind of sounds impressive.
Here's the basic pitch. They put themselves as a foreign exchange holding company. So in the Cayman Islands, they said, we're big enough to act like a bank. And so say there's a market out there. There's a huge market in foreign exchange of currencies, a multi-trillion-dollar market, and it's usually banks and financial institutions. If a company is trading between China and the US or Poland and the US or England and any other country, the rate of exchange, there's an exchange of money and the value of this currency. So when that currency exchange happens, there's a price it's bought at and a price it's sold at. They said, we're not buying and selling and holding positions in currency. We just facilitate the exchange, and we take a small percentage, the spread of the transaction. So if I buy Polish zloty, and they're selling for 3.5 per dollar, and I'm selling them at 3.5, and someone's buying them at 3.52 per dollar, they would facilitate the transaction. They would hold the zlotys and hold the US currency exchange and keep the 0.2%. And what they said was, we're just grinding out loads of transactions a day. There's no risks. We're acting like banks, but we're so big. We take the place of banks, and it's just hard work, and we're making tons of money, and there's no risk involved. And like all Ponzi schemes, they paid the investors the 12% on new money coming in.
Correct. And that's the accusation right now, correct? So
yeah.
Let's bring it up to today. So the FBI has stepped in.
FBI raided this office.
They closed it down.
My friends who eat at the Dry Dock restaurant, which is next door, said vans with FBI guys. It was straight out of straight out of a bank heist scene. They came with their jackets on saying FBI. They removed basically all of the files, the computers, all the data, shut the place down. They froze the ability, the group's frozen, there's no trades. They're trying to recover what little money is probably left.
What are the next steps, do you think?
Well, the next step's just that. What they'll do is they'll get into all the bank accounts. They'll liquidate the assets. What happened here was, of the $75 million that they got out of these investors, they actually only put $28 million into the trades, and they lost that. They spent about $18 million on personal goods, allegedly, and college tuition, homes, boats, dining and wining and all that stuff. And then they used a big chunk of the rest to pay the interest to the people to keep it rolling along. So the people lost their principal's investments likely. They'll liquidate the homes. There's a couple homes in the founders clubs. There'll be some boats and those kind of things, and they'll get back pennies on the dollar probably. At
this point, these are still accusations. Charges have been filed. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been any trials yet, is that correct? That'll happen going forward?
Yeah, there'll be I don't know, it depends what they plead. Usually someone will plead out because there'll be 7 or 8 people involved, and they'll offer deals for the full story from somebody. Okay. To be quite blunt, I think that what happened here is very common. The problem is people in wealthy communities have retirement income. They're not expecting to access that income for a long time. So it's the perfect environment
to put it away for
it's a perfect environment for a predator to say, this is money you don't need.
Right.
This is money you're not even expecting to see for 10 or 20 years. So it's a great environment. As far as what'll happen here, what we'll see on the street is they'll free up this building. It'll get sold. They bought this building. Okay. It'll then get rented. It'll go back on the market. But this company will go away. OTG will be done. That's my guess.
So we need to come back with an update down the road. Again, Steve, I appreciate you sharing your background and ideas on this. So this is all part, again, of sharing Longboat Key with everyone. I thank you for watching, and we'll be back again next week.
And invest in real estate, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thanks.
Good deal. Thanks.